Okay then, starfish and seahorses, are you ready to hear what your literacy job is today? Now, today we are going to focus on this guy. What's he called? Can you remind me? He's called Soup Potato. Well done. And he is the main character in our story. That means that he's the main person that everything happens to in our story. The story revolves around him. He's our main character. Now, what we're going to try and do today is we are going to try and describe Soup Potato. Can you say that word for me? Describe. Well done. Does anyone know what describe means? When we describe something, it means that we're trying to explain exactly what something is like. So for us to describe Soup Potato, we might think about what he looks like, what he's wearing, what he does, and what his character is like. The idea is that we want somebody, if they'd never heard of Soup Potato, never seen him, if we write a really good description, the idea is that they will be able to picture him in their heads and have a really good idea of what he's like. That's what good description is, okay? And that's what we're going to try and do today. We're going to try and describe Soup Potato. Now, to do this, we are going to use some special words. And those special words are called adjectives. Can you say that word with me as well? Adjectives. Well done. And adjectives are basically any word that describes what something is like. So, for example, red, blue, yellow, black, they are all adjectives that describe the colour of something. You can have adjectives that describe how big something is, like small, tiny, little, large. Those are all adjectives. Words like brave, kind, and clever, they describe what someone is like. They are adjectives. They're adjectives because they're telling us exactly what something is like. And that's why they're such good words for us to use when we're describing things. So, let me show you how you're going to try and be description masters today. Okay, so your first job is to draw a picture of Soup Potato in your book. Now, I've drawn mine all ready for us to use here, but you can choose. You might decide to do him really detailed. You might colour him in. You might decide to find a picture of him on the internet and print that out and stick it in your book. That's absolutely fine. However you decide to draw him, pop him in the middle of your page for me. And then you're going to have a think about what you can describe about him. Okay? We're going to add some labels to our picture to help us show our description. So, let's first of all think about what shape Soup Potato is. Now, we don't want to just say, well, he looks like a potato, because that's not very good description, is it? It doesn't tell us exactly what shape he is. Can anyone think of a really good adjective to describe the shape of Soup Potato? You have a think of one in your head. The one I think I'm going to use today is round, because Soup Potato is nice and round, isn't he? And that would be a good one to choose. I couldn't choose square, could I? Because he's not a square shape, but he is a round shape. So, like we always do when we write a word, I'm going to segment my word into sounds, and then I'm going to use the letters that I've learnt to help me write those sounds down. So, round, r, ow, d, round. Now, because I'm a tiny bit older than you, I know how to write the ow sound down. If you're not sure, don't you worry, okay? You just think about the sounds you do know and write those ones down for me. If you've got one in there that you can hear and you don't know how to write it down, don't worry about it, okay? Go on to the next one that you do know. Right. Let's have a think about what Sue Potato is wearing, because he's not just any old potato, is he? If we just said he looks like a potato, someone might just picture a potato in their heads. But Sue Potato doesn't look like that. So let's describe what he's wearing. What could we talk about? He's got a mask on, hasn't he? Now, if I just wrote mask, would that be very good description? What do you think? No, you're right. I haven't got an adjective, have I? I haven't said exactly what his mask is like. So can anyone think of a really good adjective I could use with mask so we know exactly what his mask is like? What colour is his mask? Well done, it's black. So if I write black mask, that's really good description because I'm using an adjective, black, to explain exactly what his mask is like. Let's have a go then. Black mask. Black. Ooh. Now then, I can hear the k sound at the end of black. Which way do I write the k sound down at the end of a word? Is it curly k, kicking k, or my digraph? Which one do you think? Well done, it's my digraph at the end of black. And if I can't remember what it looks like, I can always use my phoneme mat to help me, can't I? Black. Well done, digraph at the end. Black mask. Now, just to make life really tricky, guys, mask has got the k sound at the end as well, hasn't it? And although we've just said that we use the digraph at the end of a word, on mask, it's actually just a kicking cut on its own. Now, I know that that seems a bit tricky, but it's just one of those things that we'll learn the more we write words. We learn where we use our digraphs and where we don't, okay? But if you're writing your word and you can hear the k and you think it's the digraph you need, you write it down. That's absolutely fine. As long as you're representing the sound that you can hear, I don't mind a bit. Well done. Now then, we've thought about what shape he is and we've thought about what he's wearing. There are lots and lots of other things I could add in, aren't there? I could say he's got a red cape, and red would be my adjective to say exactly what his cape is like. I might say it's a long red cape and use two adjectives to describe it. I might say he's got a black belt. I might say he's got short hair. Short would be my adjective to describe what his hair is like. There are lots and lots of things I could write about what he's wearing and what he looks like. You write as many as you'd like to on your picture. The last thing I want us to think about together before you go off and have your turn is what could we describe about what his character is like? So, is he brave, kind and clever? Those are all adjectives. Or is he mean and sneaky? Those are adjectives to describe what people are like too. Which one would I use for Sue Potato? Could I use mean? No, well done. Now, although it's an adjective, and I said we're trying to use our adjectives today, I still have to be careful. I can't just use any old adjective. I have to choose the ones that match Sue Potato. They have to match the thing we're trying to describe. Otherwise, someone might think that Sue Potato is mean and horrible, and actually he's so brave and clever, isn't he? We don't want them to give them the wrong idea. So we have to choose our adjectives carefully to make sure they match what we're writing about. So for sweet potato, I'm going to go for brave, I think, today. Now, if we were describing Evil P, we could use mean for him, couldn't we? But sweet potato is kind and brave. I'm going to have a go at writing brave. Brave. Hey, it's got one of our new sounds in from last week. Now, you might notice, grown-ups, that I've not put the E on the end, okay? Now, we've not learnt about our split digraphs yet. So, as long as I've represented each sound using the sound that I do know, or the sound that we've learnt so far, that's brill, okay? Remember, we're not worrying about spelling words perfectly. We're just trying to get them to represent the sounds that they can hear, okay? So I've got round, black mask, and brave. And you might add in lots and lots of other things that you can describe about sweet potato. Try and use those adjectives for me, those clever describing words that tell us exactly what things are like. And I would love to see some pictures of your sweet potatoes and of your brilliant writing to go with them. Have lots of fun thinking about our character for this week, guys, and I'll see you later for your maths.